Okay, it's time to program the robot. Alright, so I've got a video that will show me programming what you're going to do for this lab. Everything that I talk about in here will be in another video in this module. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is make sure to drive to first home. Alright, first home is where that gripper is pointing straight down and it's out of the way of everything. Second home is where the suction cup is pointing down. Alright, so your first and last points of all your programs until I tell you different needs to be home. Okay, if you're using the suction cup, it'll be second home. If you're using the gripper, it'll be first home. Okay, so watch the videos on how to get there. So the first thing you'll do is program a point home. So when you drive home and it stops, you'll get into your program. You'll do job to go back to where you're actually programming. Make sure that you're on the left side and that you're on no op, which is no operation. Okay, and once you get where you want it, all you have to do is push enter. Okay, so when you push enter, it will remember that spot. Okay, if you have to go and insert a point in the middle of something, enter only works by itself when you're at the line right above end. Okay, if you need to insert or modify a point, you need to watch that video where you actually push the insert and then enter, or modify and then enter. Okay, so if you miss a point and you need to put it in the middle of something, you'll scroll up before where you need that point, move to that point, push insert, enter. Okay, so let's see what we're doing. So I'm making sure that my robot's at home and I program one point. Then I'm going to move to an intermediate point. I can move fast by turning up the speed in the middle, but when I get close to that, I'm going to want to slow it down, because if I'm going too fast, I'm going to overshoot stuff or knock stuff over. Alright, now instead of putting the point right in there, what I'm doing right now is I'm going in the hole to make sure that I'm straight in the hole. Then I'm backing straight out with Z plus when I'm in Cartesian coordinates. Then I'm making the intermediate point. If you do not make the intermediate point and you go straight from home into this point right here, you're going to knock over the block, because the robot is only going to look at those 2 points. And if you move to get above that to go straight down and you forget to put those points, it's going to go knock over that block. Alright, now I need to program it to open the gripper. It's closed, it goes in the hole, I need to open it. There's a video opening the gripper. Okay, so I will do inform list, D out, and then I will turn off whatever I don't want. So since I want to open the gripper, I will turn off gripper open, and then I'll turn on gripper off. You're always going to have that combination of you're turning the other thing off and then you're turning it on. Because what happens is when I turn on gripper open, it pushes this way. If I don't turn that off first, when I try to do the other, it's going to fight each other. So you always want to make sure that you do how it's set up in there. Alright, now I'm programming an intermediate point straight up. Because if I don't do that and I try to move it over there like I'm doing, it's going to make an arc. And that's not what I want. I want it to be nice and precise. Now I'm doing another intermediate point right over where I want to sit it. And I'm kind of lining things up. And if you notice, I put those 2 blocks on the corners of that drawing. Reason being is because the robot needs things to be where it was to start with. So you need to index stuff, because if you just put the blocks anywhere and you program it, you're going to have to put that block exactly where it was to start with, or it's never going to be able to pick it up. So use the two corners that's drawn out right there on the platen, so that you can index them and get them where they need to be. All right, so I'm setting it down. I program a point, and I do the opposite of what I did before. So if I did 10 off and 9 on, then I do 9 off and 10 on. It's always off and then on, and then depending on if you're opening or closing the gripper, we'll change those two numbers. I'll talk about it more, or I talk about it more in the opening and closing of the gripper. Now once I'm done, instead of going straight home, I'm going to put an intermediate point straight ahead. If I don't, straight above. So I just do Z plus when I'm in Cartesian, move out of that hole, make sure I'm clear of it before I start trying to go home. When you're doing those points, sometimes, most of the times, you're going to want to have a slow going into the point and a slow coming out of a point, and then you can speed up and slow down as you need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll back up to the top. We're going to put the block back exactly where it was. Otherwise, the robot won't be able to pick it up. I'm going to scroll to the top. I'm going to turn the key to the middle position, turn my servos on, and then push the big green play button. When you get that perfect, I want you to take a video of it and upload it. Okay? Some things of note. If you mess it up, no big deal. Just if you need to delete a point, you move to that point by doing forward, and you do delete enter. Okay? So enter by itself only works when you are putting a new point on the right above end. Okay? So make sure that you watch all the other videos that are in this module so you understand the little details I'm talking about. But this will be the lab, and this is kind of what I want it to look like on yours. Okay? This is an 8-minute video. You should be able to do this in no more than 2 hours, right? We'll be here to help, but the videos prior to this will help too, or mostly. Make sure to watch those videos so you know what you're doing.